What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build, going over what I think they do well, what they could do differently, and just the state of the game right now. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of this season thus far, now that we have had a bit of time to play with it, and we have had the first kind of like major downtime update of the season. I feel like my opinion on this season varies a lot day to day. There's obviously times where the pace makes it incredibly fun, but there's also those games that are kind of a drag for, you know, various reasons. That's just the nature of Fortnite. Recently, we did reach the next level of the foundation reward. So there are these golden fishing spots that you can fish for high rarity loot from them. So that just got added recently, and probably is definitely going to be worth taking advantage of those if you have the time to, and if you're kind of left alone near any of them, especially early on when you don't have as much loot. And I feel like that probably could make some what would have been a spot with not very much loot maybe a little bit more ideal if it has like some fishing spots, if you get one of those golden fishing spots or two. I guess it would really depend on the spawn rate of the golden fishing spot. But we are going to be on board here with Maja. We got my crown, the new squibbly POI. I thought it'd be pretty packed. And there is a rift here that will allow this player to quickly leave the area once they finish clearing it. He's not going to be able to hit it to leave because it is like kind of secluded. There's an AI on him, I think. Maybe not. It's definitely an AI shooting the burst. He's getting fried from the gas station, I think. Player's also shooting the AI. This is good for him. It buys some time to heal. Unfortunately, he drank the big pot first. Oh, he only had one mini. Okay. I was going to say he unfortunately drank the big pot first, so he's not going to be able to get full HP. But he had two bigs and one mini, so I guess it did make sense to do what he did there. I thought he had two minis and one big first. Player in here has a... Okay, nice. And this is just kind of the nature of a POI like this that's very populated off spawn. A lot of it is just like chain third-party fights. And so you want to kind of play on the edges of it and not really get into a fight that's messy. Unless it's one like this, where this is probably the final fight of the POI. But the player we're spectating right here, getting beamed in the back, actually benefited him, I think. Because if he didn't get beamed in the back there and then go off to the side to heal, he probably would have been involved in that more cluster situation and been the one getting third-partied. But because he tied the back up there, he ends up being the third party. But in general, I think if your POI is really populated like this, you want to kind of stick to the edges more and just limit the angles you're exposed to. And be ready to third party when like a situation like that arises. Not really sure where he's going. The spectator is like weirdly bugged on him sliding. Because there is also that rift in the area that if he went to the rift, he probably could have got here sooner or at around the same time without using his shocks. But maybe he has a bounty on somebody. I'm not too sure. It seems like he really thinks that there's somebody over here. The footsteps we hear are from the visitor NPC, I'm pretty sure. This is one of the... I'm pretty sure he has a bounty on somebody over here, and this is one of the unfortunate aspects of the bounties, is sometimes you get into like weird situations like this where like he's probably in the red circle right now looking for this player and just doesn't know where they are. There was a shot to like the left over here, so that might be them. Unfortunately, I don't think we see the rivalry indicator on spectator mode. But here he's used like 4 overdrive nades, which I'll probably call shockwaves throughout the course of the video. He's used 4 of them and not been able to find this player. There they are. Or they're to the right. We just saw them sliding. At least I saw somebody sliding. And I think I saw somebody under the bridge as well, but I don't know what skin he's looking for. But I thought I saw somebody like sliding down to the what would have been his left now. And this is kind of like what I was saying about like the pacing of this season being a bit weird at times, where we have a lot of mobility and the rivalry system kind of gives you someone to hunt down at all times, but also you can get into weird situations like this where you're just looking for someone and the indicator of the rivalry is quite large enough to the point where it doesn't even really help you find them that much. And then you end up in like a weird fight that doesn't really go anywhere because you're searching for somebody with kind of old information at times because it takes a while for that rivalry indicator to actually like update when they move. I've had a lot of times where I'm in a moment like this where I'm looking for somebody and then I end up finding them. They're not even in the circle because it doesn't update immediately all the time. It's a kill. Quickly looks around him, which is always a good thing to be doing. But now he has significantly less overdrive grenades. Takes a pistol. I like both the burst and the pistol. I feel like I've been leaning more towards the burst recently because the mag size is a lot better, which I'll get to in a moment, but also the hip fire is a lot better. And I feel like the way the game plays out with like the mobility and with the the gloves, there's a guy right in front of you, bro. What are you doing? I am very surprised he got that kill. But either way, the way the game plays out with the mobility this season, I value that hip fire a lot. I feel like a lot of situations where you're like gloving onto somebody, being able to hip fire them is nice, or you're getting gloved up in the air. Just a perfect hip fire, the Thunderburst SMG, I find a lot of value in. And then also the mag size, like I said, the mag size on the burst is better. And I'm sure a lot of people would be like, yeah, but the pistol reloads really fast. And it does. But in a situation where you have somebody pushing you and you are trying to shoot them as they're pushing you, like let's say you get beamed, you go to cover, the person's overdrive nading on you, I would like to hit some shots on them as they're on their way to me because they're somewhat exposed, and that could be something that kind of equalizes that fight. And at times when I do that with the pistol, I shoot them, I get damage, but now I'm in a situation where if I don't one pump them, the game is probably over for me because I used a majority, if not all, of my pistol ammo to shoot them as they were pushing me, and I didn't have time to reload because, you know, they're on me. And so sometimes that works out and, you know, I just one pump them and then we're all good. But a lot of times I feel like it can kind of be somewhat of a problem, the mag size of the pistol, in those like specific situations. That is a very specific situation, but I feel like it's a specific situation that happens a good amount this season because the amount of mobility we have. These orange towers give you unlimited sprint for a period of time. And Fortnite did patch the bug with pizza where you could like get unlimited sprint from the pizza by starting to consume it and then swapping away. And so I still like the pizza slices. I value it being a really fast movement healing item, especially in a season with this much movement. But that bug getting patched is definitely a sad time for the pizza. This guy's sensitivity is really high, but like so far it's worked out for him. Like his aim has like been good so far in a lot of situations. Like the guy that was on the bounty board earlier that he didn't react to and then eventually did react to after he took a lot of damage, I thought for sure he was dead there. But the Thunderburst hipfire like really helped him in that situation. He maybe could have done the same thing with the pistol, but it's not the fact that the hipfire, the burst is that accurate. If your aim is good, like it is a menace. This would be another situation where I would really like having the Thunderburst, is dealing with cars, which again, the pistol can shred cars and it does reload pretty quick, but just like the frequency of the reload there kind of like irritates me when I'm trying to blow somebody's car up. But both are very good. And then the exotic burst pistol is also very good. Using the DMR there is unfortunate. I'm gonna try to just reset. He might need to turn and shoot here though. The guy's keeping pressure. He wants to heal. I think he should overdrive grenade to the bush that was in front of him to his left. Maybe it works out though. This guy didn't seem to be chasing. He is. The guy's above him. He just dropped down. But the player we're spectating is full healed at this point. Unfortunately misses a shotgun shot. But GG's. The person that just died there took too long to push. If they pushed a bit sooner, that might have worked out for them. But they let this guy full heal. And then like took the fight after he full healed as if he was still weak. I don't know why they took so long to push because they did have gloves. And I don't think he really did that much damage to them. And that it kind of goes to show like kind of what I was talking about with the mobility this season. Like using the mobility well and capitalizing on that damage is a very different fight. I'm surprised he took a singular overdrive grenade instead of the gloves. And personally, I would like to have the gloves and the overdrive nades. Especially with like, I feel like the DMR is going to grief this player. We'll see. But like trying to use it, I feel like made the fight he just had harder for them than it needed to be. Like, it's definitely useful in certain situations, but like, I feel like he's kind of forcing it. He's like forcing the hipfire with it. When, you know, you have the Thunderburst, which is like the best hipfire weapon of all time in Fortnite, probably. We'll see if it works out for him. Either way, if you just wanted single mobility, I think the overdrive nades are much better than a singular, or sorry, the gloves are much better than a singular overdrive grenade. Unless those gloves are also basically empty. Which he can see when he kind of like looks over it, but we can't in the spectator mode. It's 5 opponents remaining. Also, the fight he had with that player in the house, I feel like kind of shows the advantage of the Chaos Shotgun versus the pump. I like using the pump a lot still. Like, I'm kind of torn between the two, especially if I get the Mythic pump, I enjoy using it. But just the potential for the Chaos Shotgun to just chunk so much damage on a body shot is just like devastating at times. I was like looking for a word to describe it, but it is very devastating in certain fights because the player that died there actually had a very good situation happen where he missed his first shot with the Chaos, but they just didn't get enough damage in the meantime to really get that kill. And they didn't push off their initial damage. Like, if that same situation happened, but they had pushed off their initial damage, then I don't think we'd be spectating this player anymore. 4 opponents remaining. Shots over here. This is maybe his bounty from earlier he's looking for. One player just gloved. They're like to the left here. Yeah. Get out of the car and shoot, please. Thank you. I don't know what he's doing. This is like a messy fight. One player maybe got away, but... Okay. I guess the player did get away. Yeah, they're shockwaving away. I don't know what he's doing. He was like trying to overdrive and take the Ice King gloves, but... I don't like that. Like, wasting your only mobility to take this item, I don't think is a very good idea. The Ice King gloves are not mobility. And now, the reason why, like, having no mobility is always unfortunate in Fortnite Zero build because mobility is one of the few things that allows you to, like, rectify bad timing or, you know, turn a fight, potentially. But with how much mobility there is this season, it's going to be very hard for him to chase certain players. Like, he could get very good opening damage on a decent player, and the fact that he has no mobility to chase them could just allow that person to get away and heal, and then, like, maybe now, like, they have a more neutral fight where he loses. Like, getting people out of the game when you have an opportunity to get them out of the game and capitalizing on those ideal situations is, like, very much important, I feel like, in every season, but especially a season like this with a lot of mobility. I would want to do these drones here because you can get mobility from it. You can get the Kinetic Blade. You can get the Typhoon Blade. And there might be other items that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. And then some of the weapons you can get are pretty good too. And with how large this zone is, I think he could do it from up here and be, like, decently safe doing so. And have time to respond to any enemies. Someone just rifted near him. They rifted out of that rift from Squibbly. But he's not going to do it. And we'll see if having no mobility comes back to bite this player. And I know he has pizza for slap, but, like, that doesn't count. Like, you guys know. Someone could hit you 100 if you shock to cover, and then they're just sprinting at you with slap. Like, good luck. Especially with, like, the time to kill this season. A lot of the guns kill really quick. It's damage on that Rifter, but it's not, like, real damage. It's mostly just overshield. And there's also going to be damage he's not really going to be able to capitalize on. He has a car to get over there, but, like, it's going to take a while. He's getting shocked on now. He's going to drive away and reset. That's a good idea. Rather than just, like, taking the 50-50. Tries to hit DMR shots, doesn't get any damage. We'll see how this fight goes. He's going to keep backing up in hopes that this player pushes into him with the gloves, I think. Or maybe he's just going to full leave. But I would want to keep, like, backing away and stopping and looking for damage on this player. But it's actually probably good that he didn't do that because that guy was still on that cliff. The third party him in the back. His car is getting weak now, though. It's going very slow too. Got a flowberry miss. I would really want to have that. Since he has double heals anyways, having that like heal mobility, I would really like to have. There's a player in front of him here, but I don't think that person matters as much as the person that's like on the top pressuring them. I'm like, why is he driving so slow? I'm so confused. He's like not boosting because he wants to use fuel, or like conserve fuel, I guess. Both of them rift. But driving around in the weak car like this is also like a risk. And if somebody blows the car up on him, he doesn't have any mobility to reset that. He just has to sit there in that like potential no man's land after taking 100 damage. Luckily, he gets to the lighthouse here. But I think if that lady that was on the cliff that like almost third-partied him, if she like shot more, I think this player would have been really punished for that. There's overdrive nades there. Perfect. He's going to eat the pizza slices just to get the slap and I guess like not let anybody else get it later. But I don't think that slap is really going to be taken advantage of right now. Spectating this player stresses me out, kind of. It's been an interesting game thus far, though. Gonna blow his own car up. I'm not really sure why he's doing that, because that destroys a lot of his cover. Maybe now he has, like, eyes. He just wanted to be able to look out and see that area, maybe. Or he's potentially hoping it would bring somebody to try to third party a fight that's not happening. I'm not too sure. Zone pulled far, kind of. This is going to be a very sketchy endgame, I think. I feel like it's going to be one where no one really fights until they get into that next zone, and it's going to be like kind of a cluster when that eventually does happen. And I think not having gloves for that is also going to be problematic for this player. Luckily, he hasn't gotten beat by the gloves yet, but I feel like a lot of close range situations this season involve people just like spam uppercutting you or like ground pound into the uppercut. And the best way to avoid those situations, I think, is just to like be the one that does it first, unfortunately. But that would be like a problem of not having gloves. But he hasn't had to experience that yet. Gonna take quite a while for zone to move though. And since nothing has happened, I still like kind of expect my initial prediction to come true of them just nothing really happening for this next zone, and then like it all just like getting crazy. It's across with the overdrive grenade. That's good. I would want to just get like as deep into this zone as possible as it opens up to be away from everybody. Like in a game like this where nothing has really happened, I don't want to be the one starting fights, because of people who do probably just like get chain third partied or get held. Like holding this player right now seems good for him, but I think it could cost him the game. Because he's not in zone yet either. He's getting good timing though, I think. Because the person up top is shooting as well, so I think they might be fighting up there. And so like that person is preoccupied and can't just third party him. Those bunkers could be super helpful here. That's actually a very good decision. It gets sketchy though, because he doesn't have the DMR, and this might be like a slow kind of fight, but like slow post-up game where the DMR would be good. But okay, late rotating kind of helped him. It worked out, but it can also really cost you. Like that person that got ahead in the bunkers there, if everybody was fighting underneath in the city, they would have the freest cleanup of all time, right? Like they just got ahead, they isolated themselves. They're not dealing with that mess, because a lot of people try to like rotate at the last possible second, and then they all end up on the edge, which has kind of happened in this game, but this player is like isolated because of the way the terrain is. That's not a good shot. You're never going to kill that person up top there. And then now the other guy that's down here knows you're here, and this person near you knows you're here. It works out for him, luckily, in that they kind of kill each other. But see, like this fight sucks. Even if he wins this fight, they're dead to that bunker. Like that guy in the bunker over there is having the easiest experience of their life right now. And it's like a chaotic, awkward fight with no cover. But he should be dead. I don't know why he's not. But yeah, that's the absolute ideal situation if you were that player on the bunker. And that's why I was saying like getting ahead and isolating yourself in a game like this where nothing is happening, and just avoiding that like kind of traffic jam of the edge of the new circle is what you want more than anything in those situations. If there's like too many people left alive for the zone and no one's really fighting. But they chose not to really just like hop him. They chose to like slow third party it, and it could work out for sure, but also like you just give this player more of a chance. And this player that he's fighting right now, okay, it's over. So this player who's gonna win the game, they can't know exactly how weak the winner of that fight was, right? But you can make an educated guess because you heard the Chaos Shotgun get shot multiple times and you heard the Burst SMG get shot multiple times, and it sounded like just like a very messy, chaotic fight. And so I think you can pretty much expect that that person is going to be very weak that wins it. And so just getting to like at least the midpoint to have eyes on them, like you don't need to fly in there and just barrel stuff them, but getting to the point where you can have eyes on that person and just like pressure them a bit would have made the end of that game really easy. Like he gave that guy a chance to win the game when really they should have had no chance to win the game. He could have gloved twice, looked at him with the burst, and just sprayed, and he would have killed him in one burst. But even if he doesn't kill him in one burst, you probably make that person bunker and storm, and it just gets harder and harder for them to do anything. They gave him a lot of room in that endgame when they really didn't need to. But I'm pretty sure this was the one that bunkered up top as well. So like they played the end game pretty well, I think, up until that point where they like could have closed it out for free. And as I talked about before, like letting your opponents heal, letting them reset, letting what would be an easy situation get away and make it harder. Sometimes you'll win it like this, but sometimes you won't. And so luckily he won, but you saw he only had 84 health remaining. So like really could have gone either way at the end there. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, found it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.